just want to get some coffee or something.
Can I get a cup of coffee? Black? Can't you see we talking? White?
Even little kids in Mexico drink coffee.
Well, I'm not a little kid in Mexico, okay?
That is the best coffee I've ever tasted.
A damn fine cup of coffee.
You want a cup of coffee?
No coffee.
Coffee drinker, huh?
Maybe we could grab some coffee?
Coffee! Coffee, 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 coffee!
How you doing, fellas? That's not decaf, is it?
Viennese cinnamon.
All right, there you go. Morning, guys. Welcome to another Morning Coffee with Gary. And I'm, of course, got my gigantic, enormous cup of hot coffee. In fact, it was too hot for me to drink a few minutes ago. You guys aren't on yet. Need to wait.
It's all good. Let's say good morning.
I got to do my introduction. Anyway, I want to invite the panel for today, which includes, of course, the manager of our chat, which is Martin Acosta Santana. He is, of course, of South American royalty. My good friend Chris, a.k.a. Secret Circus. And, of course, Dork Knight LV, or as I like to call him, Dork Knightley. And good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Fucking talking over me while I'm doing my introduction. You look like you got bedhead, Chris. What's up with that?
Well, I wake up at the crack of noon every day.
It's better than to wake up at the crack.
Either one's good for me.
No, crack is bad. Crack is bad. I want to say good morning to the chat. Oh, wow, people have been here. Arasaka, the Dapper Goose, has been here since 9 o'clock. Good morning. Das Wolfen got here at 9:39. Good morning, John. How are you doing, my friend? Yes, I doxed you again, and you don't care. And again, also, I'm proud of you, man. Congratulations on graduating. Of course, our good friend D. Bud Martin is here. Good morning. Let's see. The Marshal is here. And let's see who else. Anima Confusa is here. Looking for his pants again. Monkey Jeebus, good morning. He's one of my two favorite monkeys, as everybody knows. Wajid Liki Ashrafi. Okay, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that last one. You got a Z and a V following the Z. It's like, you know, you throw two fucking consonants together and you fuck my week up. I'm not even going to give it a try. Good morning, Penny. How are you? But I will say this. Welcome to the show, Wajid. I hope it's a good show for you. I hope you enjoy the interview with Cameron Pascha. This is too early for Cameron. Doing my show is too early for him. And I told him, I explained to him, because he's friends with Tom over at Midnight's Edge too. And I said, I don't want to get too crossed over with my friend's shows. And I'm not worried about stealing any of Tom's fucking audience. I'm worried about him taking our audience, because it's a big show. Everybody loves Midnight's Edge. So Darius Munchausen, the best version of Munchausen, and so much better than Munchausen by proxy. And let's see, who else is here? Anybody else new? A lot of chat. Olaf van S. Tuck. Glad you're here. Let's see. And the lovely Sherry is here.
We've got a super chat.
Already. Well, I haven't even gotten through everybody that's joining us. The lovely Dr. Dragon is here. Dr. Dragon, thank you for being here. And as I've said before, Dr. Dragon has the coolest Saturday morning cartoon villain name of anybody in our chat. 10 Man is here. Hey, wow. A lot of friends popping in. And oh my God, Mad Mardigan is here. Mad, you're more than welcome to join us, man, if you want to jump in with us, buddy. And just to let you know, I am really ready to go with our show, Dangerous Nerds. I've been really working it. And I've got even my veteran buddy that was our announcer to agree to come back and do our intro and outro. But Mad Chismo post, make sure to check out the criminally underrated series Sleeper Cell on Hulu or Showtime. Cameron wrote 4 episodes, with Scholar being one of the best episodes in the series. I think I know this show, and I don't think I've watched it, but I am going to go. Excuse me, coffee burp. I'm going to go check it out, man. Thank you for the $10 super chat, buddy. Let's see. Anybody else? Nope. I think we got everybody. I got to play a video for Mad, but I want to make sure I said, and I did say hello to you, lovely Sherry. I'm glad you're here today. And of course, I'm going to get that fucking theme song from Batman to play every time I say your name. I'm going to get it. I'm going to find it. For you, Mad, what am I going to give Mad for his? Oh, this is absolutely, I bet you this is something that Mad likes. This thing. Here we go.
You pompous, stuck-up, snot-nosed, English, giant, twerp, scumbag, fuck-faced, dickhead, asshole.
I love that clip. And then what follows it here, I'll play that. This is still for you, Mad.
How very interesting. You're a true Bulgarian, aren't you? You're the Bulgarian, you fuck!
I love that fucking movie, man. It's like one of my favorite scenes in the film. And what I love about that so much is that every time he says something, he looks at something on John Cleese. Like when he points out, pompous, he looks right at his tie. And when he says giant, he looks at the top of his head. It's just Kevin Kline, man. He's the fucking shit. This one's also for you, Mad. Just for you.
Hey, here's your free cup of coffee from a lady in Rhode Island. What?
There you go, buddy. Seth MacFarlane making his fucked up humor. Yes. So it's a good morning. I'm in a situation here because where I'm at living right now, I've got the worst internet right now. The download speed's not the problem. It's the upload speed. So when I stream, I can't do a lot. So I am trying to find a solution to it. And the only thing I can think of is portable internet. But so far, 2 of the places I checked don't provide here. I'm in Sparta, Missouri. It's sort of like, Luke Skywalker. If there's a bright spot in the universe, it's the furthest place from it. Almost like Lebanon, Missouri. Chris knows that one.
Lebanon.
It's like somebody says, yeah, Lebanon, if you're on 44, man, if you sneeze, you might miss it. I said, odds are if you sneeze, you probably shit on it too. Because it is
Lebanon's gotten
huge.
It's a big town.
It's still garbage. It's still run like a fucking mafia town, and I don't want to get into names because one of the names. He owns Evergreen, and that fucker owns that town. What, Danny?
So, might I suggest something?
Although, if you want to talk about like internet, let's talk after the show because I really got to fix this. Okay. Yeah, if you got a suggestion, please do. And anybody in the chat, hit me up on Twitter and message me privately and let me know. Go ahead and go to our Pop Call Minefield Twitter account and just message me there because I've got to resolve this problem. I cannot keep doing the show with shitty upload speeds. And
I'll start a For You page.
So
raise some money.
Oh, don't do that, dude.
Go to speedtest.net and tell me what your upload speed
Oh, no,
is.
it's 0.756.
It's not even
megabits
one.
per second. It's not even one.
So, I'm getting 30 up using the T-Mobile.
This is just fucking ridiculous, dude. It's ridiculous. And I got to also switch my mobile account because I'm still on the family plan with Deanna, and I don't want to stay on that. I got to get off of that. I mean, we're not together anymore. So
what company you with?
She has Cricket, and I was on T-Mobile previously. And
I've had T-Mobile for like 10
well,
years.
I had it. What do you call it? It's by T-Mobile. It's Metro
Sprint?
PCS.
Oh, Metro PCS. Yeah, that's my ex.
But now
my
it's Metro. It's Metro T-Mobile.
Metro.
And,
yeah, my second ex-wife uses that. So, or used to. Anyway, she just switched to actual T-Mobile.
So yeah. Oh, Six is here. Good morning, Six. How are you doing?
Oh, Gap After Dark.
You can message Gary's back door. There you go. Thank you. Oh man, Gap After Dark is here. Yes, War Monkey, my other favorite monkey, is here. Yes, my two favorite monkeys are watching the show. I'm very excited to premiere this video today because, look, I have talked to Cameron. He would love to come on in the morning shows and hang out. He's like, but I'm either not awake or I'm doing my morning prayers. So it's impossible for him to come on here, except I discovered we can record the previous day and then air it in the morning.
So I don't even get to interact or anything, and neither does your guest, and neither does. Well, this is awkward.
Yeah, we get to watch. No, it's not. We get to watch.
Just kidding.
It's just like me watching you do that show the other day.
What show was I doing the other day?
Last Thursday.
Oh, the nerd fight.
And you did great, man. I'm telling you, dude. Now I feel bad about the next time you're on Friday because I woke your ass up and you were just out of it, and everybody was like laughing about it because they said, you know what? Lack of sleep, Danny, is not too much different from high Danny. I got a ton of messages from people just going, Danny was fucking awesome. But I also got a lot of compliments for you on Thursday that you were on spot, doing the show. I heard one complaint, which really wasn't about you. It was just about the video. They were bored with the video. I think they weren't interested in it. And
I need to talk to Tom.
I can't say
he's not very he's not a good, I don't know how to say it.
Good morning. I'm assuming it's Stephanie.
Yeah, I'm rambling. Danny is.
I'm hoping.
Danny. Yeah.
No. Don't worry about Danny. But I really do like the idea of a Thursday crime show.
Oh, well, he's down for this, which is tomorrow. Yeah,
tomorrow.
So
that'll be good.
Yeah, he's down.
And I want to get down into it, and we need to dig into some true crime, because I love the crime, murder mysteries, shit like that. So and I'm finally, it's like, here's what I think, Danny, and I'll let you continue. I just simply want to do twice a week, do things that I've always wanted to do and talk about. I'm fascinated with ufology. Mad's still in the chat. Mad, dude, do you want? Tell me. Let me know, Martin, if you see his response and I don't see it. If he wants me to send him an invite, I'd love to have him bounce on with us. I just want to do shows that entertain me. And I know that if something entertains me, other people will be entertained by it. Because I have a very, very common interest in things. And I like ufology. I'm not too much in crypto. How do they pronounce that? I forget. Cryptology?
Cryptozoology.
Zoology. That's it. Zoology. Yeah. I'm not too much into it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, you'll see Cameron and I talk about it a little bit because I buy into fucking the Bigfoot. And I do believe that there's shit going on in these, the Mothman prophecies, but there's also a connection with the Mothman prophecies and UFOs. And the Jersey Devil, they're in the, what do they call those? The Pineys up there in New Jersey, the Pine Woods. You guys aware of it? I'm talking about panel.
No. Oh, of course. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what it was I was going to say because I forgot.
The Jersey Devil myth comes from a legend of a lady who she had 13 children, and it always revolves around the number 13. So she had 13 children, got rid of one of them, and then that was I think she kept one in the basement, and then it passed away, and it became the Jersey Devil or some sort of satanic worship.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's Stephanie. Stephanie is is our Facebook user. So say hi to Stephanie in the chat, guys. Christian Delorme. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Good morning. Let's see. Railway Nation's here. What's up, buddy? Oh, that's doing pretty good, dude. Man, you should hop on here sometime. Promote your channel. Let's see. Monkey Jeebus. Mads has experienced UPP, unexplained penis phenomenon. He finds dismembered ones in the wild. Fucking mad. Thank you, Matt Monkey. Matt is, of course, a fellow veteran, but he's a combat veteran, like you are, Chris. I am not. Even though I was in an incident with friendly fire, I don't count it. I don't give a shit what anybody says.
So, you know how with Tom, it's come up the whole DuPont family thing and the murder and the Steve Carell movie or whatever. So anyway, I'm a wrestling fan, and on Sunday nights A&E has been releasing these hour and a half long biographies on different wrestlers, and they just did one on Kurt Angle, and Kurt Angle's coach was the one that DuPont dude murdered. And I never knew that.
Shit.
And I'm a big, big time Kurt Angle fan, He was an Olympic gold medalist before he got into the, pro wrestling gig. But yeah, so now I have a whole new scope of stuff to talk to Tom about at some point in time. But tomorrow is supposed to be about the Wynn, Kevin Wynn kidnapping. So.
The kidnapping, yes.
Yeah.
That is an interesting case too. I'm looking forward to that. Hold on a second. Wait a second. Railway Nation, yes. Hit me up on Twitter. You can hit me on my personal account. I am trying to check it more often, mostly because I don't. I only check it when I don't want to talk on the pop culture account, because pop culture, actually other people can log into that account. And so I don't have personal conversations on there. So I am trying to check my personal one. It's just at Gerry Cassell. And you know how to spell my name. It's weird. But yeah, hit me up, dude. Hit me up on that. And plus, I'd like to get you a join on here, and maybe we can promote what you do real, Wade. I fought Bigfoot once. Thing was like 8 feet tall. I kicked it in the balls and it went down like a bitch, but then 7 more started charging me, so I jumped off the cliff and hang glided to safety. You know what? I gotta tell you something.
It's just hang glided, not hanged glided.
I gotta tell you, War Monkey, I absolutely call bullshit on that story. I don't fucking buy it for a second, because I don't think you can fucking hang glide. And like he said, that's not how you fucking say hang gliding, motherfucker.
So you guys want to see this?
Yes,
this
I love
cool.
that.
Cool. You guys, do you know what this is?
A coaster?
No.
It's a Millennium Falcon, but
it's a wireless. It charges my phone wirelessly.
That's why I was wondering why the back section where the exhaust ports was sitting up. That's because it's where you set it. Okay, that's really fucking cool, dude.
I'm gonna say this. I went back from the backstage just to say this to you, Dork.
Yes, the lovely Sherry is also one that knows my personal account. Thank you for sharing that, lovely Sherry.
As I was saying,
Socks is here. Thank you so much, Socks.
For
again.
fuck's sake.
Socks really does a massive job of sharing this show out, man. I deeply appreciate it, buddy.
Still need to talk wrestling with that, dude. We gotta do like a Sunday wrestling show, bro. Hit me up.
Oh, that'd be fine. That'd actually be fun. But I don't want to do weekend stuff. I like doing it during the week. What we could do is like pick another day and do Pro Wrestling Day. One of my morning coffees.
I'll explain later.
Okay,
why Sunday really
that's
is
fine,
the
Real
worst
Weight
day.
Nation. That's fine. I thought it was. Let's just hold on a second. Did I miss a story? D. Bud Martin, I swear it possibly 100% true. I thought it was a Roomba. That is my buddy Chris. Him and his brother. I've been friends with you guys for so fucking long. I mean, you were my first friends in Missouri. It was a farmhouse of fucking skater punks.
30 years. That's a long time.
Yeah, and my first friend was Jason Stewart, and Jason introduced me to all you fuckers. And we built a half in the barn. They had a loft up in the barn. It was really tall, and so we built a half pipe and 2 ramps in there. And we let all the local kids go in there, and it was really used a lot by local kids, and most of them respected it and kept it clean. But one of our friends wasn't such a friend, and he and 2 other kids went up there, were huffing and abusing the privilege of what we're giving them to use. And after that happened, we tore it down. We tore everything down. Stewart was so fucking angry about that, man. Plus, we used to do firework battles. And my job, I really wasn't a participant in a lot of the crazy shit. My job was to keep you fuckers alive. You know? And you saw a video of that. Are you trying to get it to light up, Danny?
No, I was. I keep confusing this mic with this other one, where the other one I can tap the top and it mutes it. But this one's the mute button's down here.
Oh, down there. Okay.
Yeah. So.
But anyway, Martin has gone into the back. I think he's just managing the chat. Anyway. All right, I'm going to set this up now. Yesterday, I met with Cameron. I was feeling like shit. It was the only thing I did yesterday.
For the less initiated, who is this Cameron person you speak of?
I'll explain. So, everybody knows I got bit by the recluse spider, and it kicked my fucking ass, man. And I got bit Friday, and yes, it's listed as one of the most poisonous spiders in the U.S.
Venomous.
But miraculously, I'm in a 1 percentile that doesn't overly react to the toxins. I've been bit 4 times since the 90s. And one of the bites was last year. And I ended up going to urgent care on a weekend, and they put me in antibiotics. But I got to tell you, I just skipped it this year. I'm like, fuck it, let my body fight it. If it gets bad, I'll go to the ER. And it didn't. I seem to be fighting it just fine. But I slept a lot. And I think I'm finally on the other side of it right now from being bit by. And I got no powers.
Where were you bit? Like leg?
On the end of my penis.
Back? Bullshit. Where were you bit?
I was bit right on my abdomen, right here.
So you can see it.
Yeah, I can look at it right now.
Okay, so it's not like there's not like a giant hole there or anything.
No, it's
because that happens.
I got the blister, a big blister, and I because of my medical background, I've done this before with other people when they got bit. I drained it and then began the process of using local antibiotic ointment.
LOL. Thanks for what? What? Anyway,
venomous.
Yes, it is venomous. That's what I said.
There we go. Documentary. Okay, I'll check that out, Bill. And good morning, Bill. By the way, I know you just showed up. Good morning. So, has he been able to shed some light on the project he had a few months ago that made him leave Midnight's Edge for a bit? I have not dug into that. Yesterday, all we talked about a couple of things. One, the breaking news about Batgirl has been shelved. That movie
Dude, isn't that nuts? Michael Keaton got shafted.
This is the decision, and I don't like it in some ways, but I understand it. I don't like it, but I understand it, is that they want one Batman leading the way. So that's why Ben Affleck is now in Aquaman 2.
Oh man, so they're getting rid of Keaton then? They teased us?
Keaton, yeah, I don't think it's right. I'm sure Keaton's pissed that this happened, but it's fuck, man. You know, he's a straightforward business guy. He's not a studio guy. Alan Horn is part of this too. Alan Horn, his suggestions as of Monday, were very clear. And
doing Keaton
Batgirl.
dirty.
I think Batgirl was definitely an Alan Horn suggestion. He's in there suggesting things, and it's up to the people. It's up to Michael DeLuca.
You're saying Alan Horner told him to not release it?
Abdi. What?
Are you saying that Alan Horner is the one that suggested they not release it?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
He is a friend of Zack Snyder's and Ben Affleck. So you're gonna.
Why are you gonna shit on Keaton though, man? Like,
I don't think it's not that. It's not shitting on him. It's just simply, what the word that we're hearing is that it was unwatchable. It was bad. Batgirl. It was unwatchable, and they couldn't see a way of fixing it. Right now, we are hearing big rumors that Zaz is considering completely shelving The Flash. And just eating the budget from both those films.
So, again, Michael Keaton getting screwed. I hate, oh my gosh.
Things like this happen. I'm hoping that down the line that they've made a deal to work with him or give him something, because it's going to really suck. I'm really surprised because, in my opinion, to be honest with you, Monkey Jeebus, I think that he should have spent 70 to 100 million and just completely removed Ezra Miller and recast and digitally added another actor rather than shelving it. But for marketing, I mean, you're looking at another 200 million for marketing alone for both those films, Batgirl and for The Flash. So I don't know, man. It's business. These are all business decisions. And Zaslav is fucking angry at Hamada, Toby Emmerich, and Sarnoff. He hates them. And I wasn't kidding when I told people that when Ezra got arrested that second time, that Zaslav was raging because he moved his office onto the studio. And he was raging through the offices looking for Toby. And people were terrified, hiding in their office because he was that fucking angry, and Hollywood people, they're easy to fucking scare. You throw up an American flag and they run for
Incredible
the
fucking Hulk. That sounds like hyperbole to me, but anyway,
DC was basically bait and switch the audience. Kind of, I would say that was some of the stuff, especially stuff that Hamada was involved with. But yeah, Grace is so full of shit. She is absolutely the worst now. There was a time when she was actually entertaining and good, but she's become nothing but pure fucking opinion. And I call her on her bullshit every fucking day. And she's ugly on the inside, man. She might look cute on the outside, like she just sucked a lemon. Her face is all twisted up from it. But I got to tell you, man, that is some shit that she is doing. I can't believe a few years ago I believed her. Look, I got to tell you, 3 years ago, she was still good. 2 years ago is when she started going downhill. And when I caught it, I stopped watching her. And a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, is when I blocked her on Twitter. I don't want to fucking hear her shit. Her anti-Henry Cavill shit, she can go fuck herself on that.
And
Henry's back.
Thankful this chick's not on my radar. Now I know to completely avoid her. So.
Oh yeah, you don't ever want to watch her, dude.
I'll
so
probably
all right,
forget anyway.
Now Cameron Pascha is a writer, producer. He's worked on a lot of great shows. One of my favorites was Tron Uprising. I love that show. Really well written. And in fact, one of the guys that worked with him wrote one of the episodes of Strange New Worlds, which is the one episode I said was amazing. I love that episode on Strange New Worlds because he wrote it. I'm like, whoever wrote this wrote good science fiction.
Which episode was this now?
I don't remember. But basically, Cameron,
was it the one where they sacrificed the kid?
Yes, that one. I love Cameron because he's got a deep understanding of what's going on in the industry. He saw firsthand the prejudice of the woke. That's what cost him his job at Disney. He would not bend a knee, and so they ganked his ass, and so he suffered for it. But his career's coming back. There's always going to be a backlash when you see stupid shit like this. The changes are coming. Paramount, I think, is going to be one of the last ones to wake the fuck up, and I hope that it's not too late for them when they do. But yes, he was the reboot, and I liked that show, The Bionic Woman. He's worked on a lot of little shows, but the fact is this episode is the interview I did with him real quick yesterday to talk about his experience with UFO and his opinion on UFOs. And he even brings up cryptids because he's more of a believer in cryptids than I am. And it's not like I didn't believe in them, because I absolutely do believe in Bigfoot, but I don't see Bigfoot. I think that he was an offshoot of the evolutionary process. I think that we've got different varying versions of the Yeti all over the globe. The abominable snowman, China, they've got them all over. Every country has these creatures. And I do believe in some are misidentified and or are something else. Chupacabra, I think, is, I don't think it's a cryptid. I don't think there's anything mystical about it. I believe that there is an animal. Because wherever you see folklore and you hear these things, odds are there's something is happening. And but what we did yesterday is we talked about UFOs, and I wanted to hear, because he told me that he did have a UFO experience. And so I really wanted to get into this with him, and he's agreed that he would love to come on more. But if he does come on the morning show, it's always going to be recorded, because he doesn't get up this early. Or if he does get up, he's doing morning prayer. So he's a very devoutly religious man, and I love that about him. I admire it. So here we go, guys. Danny, are you ready?
See.
I'm going to let it take up the screen while we listen in the background. We can still be heard, though.
And here we go.
Hey, Cameron, welcome back to the show. I deeply appreciate you coming on here to share your experiences, because this is UFO Wednesday, and every Wednesday I like to talk about either Skinwalker Ranch or UFOs, because even though I'm not interested in the cryptid side of things, although I'm a big believer in Bigfoot, I don't buy too much in other cryptids, like the New Jersey Devil and all that shit.
Really? I'm up for most cryptids. I'm up for New Jersey Devil. I'm up for all that stuff, man. I'm up for the Slender Man. I'm up for all of it.
I think I'm just that big a cynical douche that it keeps me from believing in some of the other cryptids. I do believe that there is something happening in New Jersey. I believe in the Mothman prophecies. I don't believe it's what a lot of people think it is. I do think that there is extra-dimensional, extraterrestrial connection. Yep. But a lot of things I think attribute to that, except for Sasquatch, because Sasquatch to me just sounds like a path off of the evolutionary, or a step off of the evolutionary path. And we got Sasquatches, all these creatures that live all over the globe. They've been identified by many cultures, but they're all so similar in their behavior and everything. And a lot of people think that the Sasquatch here in the U.S. is like peaceful. And I'm like, you haven't read enough until you read some of these Sasquatch attacks.
All these accounts of, like from the 19th century of those settlers that were had rocks and logs thrown at them and almost killed them.
Exactly. They're very territorial, and but they tend to be, avoiding. But when it comes to UFOs, I'm super fascinated. I told Don Ecker that, and he says, "Be careful what you wish for, boy." And I'm like, I always wanted to be abducted or have a close encounter. And I used to drive.
I don't know if you want to be abducted, my brother. I don't know if you want to be abducted. Close encounter is one thing. Abducted is another thing.
Yeah. Well, see, I used to drive out into the country, out in Virginia, where I grew up. And, you'd hear all these stories in Virginia, and I never saw lights. I never saw anything that I couldn't figure out was either a satellite or a helicopter or a plane. And I would go, oh. And the closest exciting moment as an adult was when I was in Phoenix, and this is like back in 2015, I think it was when The Hobbit came out, and we were at the movie theater in Gilbert, and right outside Phoenix. And I looked up and saw lights.
I know my family. I gotta stop you for a second. My parents lived in Gilbert. My father passed away in Gilbert. He's buried near Gilbert. So Gilbert,
it's a beautiful place. I love it. When I grew up there, the Gilbert Road was a dirt road. That was all ranches. That's all was out there. Now it's like it's
built a lot more now.
Yeah,
now it's like a suburb now.
And it's nice, and there's a lot of nice houses out there. But we're at the theater there in Gilbert, and I look up and I see these lights moving through the sky, just an army of them. And I'm like, my heart starts racing. And then I went, oh, those are Japanese lanterns. My heart was broken. Because I wanted to see all these things. I was never in the right place at the right time. Drove out in the country, just would stand outside my car, sit on my hood, and just look up in the sky, hoping for something to happen. Never happened. But I love talking to other people about their experiences because I absolutely do believe in, I don't believe they're extra-dimensional. I believe they are extraterrestrial in origin. I don't believe they're time travelers.
On UFOs, on these craft, that they're actually from Zeta Reticuli and other identifiable planets. And
exactly. Going all the way back to the Betty and Barney Hill abduction and her describing that, and scientists going, no. And then later's going, no, yeah, she was right. What she did was right. How would she know that back in that time period? It just kind of blows your mind, all this stuff. And all the stuff that's coming open now. Department of Defense, as far as the Navy goes, has admitted, yeah, these things are here. We've interacted with them. That video is real. We did not fake it. That really happened, those Tic Tacs. And they call them a mixture because, like, it's a UAP until you know it's solid.
Because, then it's a UFO. And I wasn't clear about why the new terminology is there. But actually, based on the experience that I'm going to talk about today, I now understand why that terminology makes sense. Because some of these things that appear to be aerial phenomenon, they appear to be something that's happening in the sky that does not necessarily appear to be physical in the way that we understand physics and form. That's what I think I experienced. But
high speed right angle turns,
or just their appearance. There's not necessarily. It can be amorphous, certainly not in the way that we understand.
Changing form. Shape, exactly.
But then there's other things that do appear to have the traditional flying saucer and all the other various crafts with lights and things sticking out of them and whatever. That feels like a form, and that's a UFO. Yeah.
So let's get into it. Let's hear your story. Yes. Where did it happen? When did it happen? And who is with you?
Sure. Well, before I get into that, let me just say that I've always been fascinated by UFOs. As a child in Brooklyn, I remember reading the kids books on UFOs, right? Like 8 years old, 9 years old.
Yes.
And I was so obsessed with them, right? That I would stare out of my window in Brooklyn and look at the night sky, hoping to see something. As a child, did it every night. And one night,
you sound like me, dude. Because I did the same thing in Phoenix.
Yeah. So I mean, because it elicits your imagination. You're like, wow, right? There's a whole universe of possibility here, right? And so I remember staring out the window, and I never saw anything. And partly because it's the first New York City sky, so you barely even see the stars, right? I mean, so there's so much light pollution, right? But I remember one night I got so excited because it was a very cloudy night, and I looked out and I could see this circle of light. A circle like going through the cloud steadily, right? And I started, like you, my heart was palpitating. I couldn't. And then I realized it was a spotlight. I don't know. It looks like the Batman spotlight. I don't know what they were spotlighting for. I don't know what they were looking for in the sky, but it was a spotlight.
So it was a searchlight. Okay.
It was a searchlight. That was a searchlight. So I have no idea what they were looking for. Maybe it was to help a plane that's had lighting problems that needed light help. I don't know. But there was a Batman searchlight going through the sky. That's what it was, right? And so that and then there's that crushing feeling of normalcy again, right? And I've been obsessed with paranormal experiences. I've had ghost experiences. I've had all kinds of experiences. I've been an amateur paranormal, ghost hunter myself. I've gone on paranormal hunts where I've gotten voices on, recorders and things like that. I've heard audible voices in empty abandoned rooms and all that stuff. So I've had all that mystical, ghosty experience and had all that stuff. And that was very real. That was enough to be, wow, okay, I'm experiencing real stuff, right? But never in my life did I, after that childhood sort of disappointment, right, of having my immediate dream taken away in searchlight, I never imagined I would ever have a UFO experience in reality. I mean, I've had a weird experience. I've had ghost experiences, right? I mean, with my own eyes and my hearing, right? And is that enough? But UFOs seem literally so out of this world as to not something you're actually going to ever have an experience of, right? And so what happened is this was in 2019. So we're talking about 3 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Just 3 years ago, I was in the Atacama Desert of Chile. Okay. The reason I was there was that I had planned that trip several years in advance. It was because of the solar eclipse that was going to happen through South America in June, July of 2019. Right. And several years in advance, I had some money. I heard about a trip because, they know when they know when the eclipses are going to happen. They astronomers can plot them. And so they have these explorer companies, travel companies that book these trips in advance. So about 4 or 5 years in advance, I booked this trip to go, and finally the day came. I was like, oh my God, I've never seen an eclipse, a solar eclipse with my own eyes. I've never been to Chile. And I flew to Chile, and we spent several days there sort of exploring, Santiago, lovely city, all that. And then the day came for the actual, today the eclipse is going to happen. And we went out into the desert, in the Atacama Desert, right? And we went there. It's just literally out there in the middle of the desert because you don't want any light pollution for this. You want to experience it all directly, right? And we went there, and just a bus of us, maybe 30 people who had paid for this trip. And then I saw the eclipse, which in and of itself is one of the great life-changing experiences of your life. If you've never seen, I don't know if you've ever seen a solar eclipse with your own eyes. Have you? Yeah. So yeah, you know what it is. The first time you see it, it really is beyond anything you've imagined. It's beyond what you've seen on movies or television or photograph books, right? The actual video versus your own eyes. And, I remember the particular uniqueness of this eclipse was, so when the eclipse happened and there's this awe-inspiring sense of you're staring up at this sky, the stars are out. I can see Venus, this is 2 PM. I can see Venus, right? See Venus, and then, and then you've got the eclipse happening with this, with the penumbra and the aura of fire and all that. And what was interesting was that when I was looking at this eclipse, I noticed that the outline, the penumbra was ringed in red. The corona, thank you, corona. The corona was ringed in red, and it was flickering red like a candle, right? Mixing with the yellow, which I had never seen before in any video of it, and it was very noticeable. And it was very mesmerizing. And afterwards, the astronomers on the trip, because astronomers guiding the trip, said that was a rare occurrence. What had happened is at the exact moment we saw the eclipse, there was a solar flare happening. So the red that we were seeing was a solar flare being emitted at the exact moment. And that's very rare, they said, that astronomers rarely capture it at exactly that moment, and our eyes saw it. And I was like, the eclipse is magical. And then this like flaming red halo starts out of nowhere. And like, so that was magical and pure magic. And it takes you to a very primordial place, and you're overwhelmed, and it lasted a full minute. And I've got a picture on my Instagram of it. And to me, I'm glad I've got my bucket list. I can die happily that I've seen that. It's wonderful. So that I thought was it. That's it. Life-changing experience right there. So eclipse is over. We're hanging out in the desert, having, picnic, lunch after, hanging out there for a few more hours. And when the sun's going to set, we're going to all go home, right? So I'm out there, and the sun starts setting. Twilight is coming. And I remember this. So this is the interesting part of these things. I talked to one of the people there about, it just brought it up. Again, not making any conscious thought about it. I said, the Atacama Desert that we're in has the most sighted UFOs on the planet. The Atacama Desert is famous for it. And I was pointing out, the Chilean government has their own X-Files division that they've been public about. You can read about it in the newspapers. I mean, they're very public. They have an X-Files division where the people are asked to submit, because Chile has the highest number of UFO sightings in the world. And the Atacama Desert within Chile has the highest number of UFO sightings within Chile. And so a lot of this phenomenon was happening in the desert. And I knew that because I watch Ancient Aliens, I watch all this stuff. So I read that. I was like, okay, yeah. So I was like, it's really cool. They're out here. There's these famous, this place is famous for UFOs. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. That's interesting. I just said that. Now we can talk about it, about where there's so many people say that this phenomenon is linked to consciousness, right? Yeah. And that if you think about it, it thinks about you. And so did the fact that I started talking about the Atacama Desert UFO summon what happened next? I don't know. I think it is linked. It felt like it was. So, okay. So the sun has set. Twilight has begun. Everybody get back into the bus. We're heading back to Santiago, get back home for dinner, right? So go back into the bus. And then I think I forgot something. I left something out on the sand, right? Oh, crap, right? So I climbed. Now almost everybody's on the bus, and I climbed back out to go get the thing that I forgot out on the ground. And I step out, and the moment I step out of the bus, I see it, and instantly, before I can think about it, my body reacts. My body reacts with a tremor of what I'm looking at isn't right. And the words came out. I remember this because it's one of those life-defining moments. The words came out of my mouth like, "What the hell is that?" Literally, maybe half a second of stepping out onto I look up and this is the first thing I see. And what I see is just 100 feet above us is this incredibly bright, like it's like a strobe light in the sky. It's this incredibly bright red light, like a sun above you, right?
Wow.
And it's that bright. And I'm like, what? And it's not an airplane it doesn't have any indicator lights. It's a solid light, gold light, it's like blindingly bright. And it's above us 100 feet. I'm like, what the hell is that? And your body's reacting on a visceral fight or flight mode because your body knows this isn't normal. Your body has seen all kinds of things that's accustomed to airplanes, helicopters, drones, whatever. This in the middle of the desert, this incredibly bright light, not some little stinky star somewhere. This is clearly hovering above you, something, right? Your body's in fight or flight mode. Really flight mode is what the hell are you going to fight, right? And so my body reacted to it. But I'm then pulled out, like almost like mesmerized, right? I'm like almost hypnotized by this thing. I got to go see this. So I just fully step out of the bus. I walk out and there's two other people standing there. There's a woman and a man who were on the tour with me. And they're both looking up at it in absolute wonder. They're like, and they're both saying, what the hell is that? And we're all looking at each other like, are we actually seeing this? So there's bright lights there. So we're staring at it. So it stays red for about 30 seconds, just solid, bright red. And then suddenly, without blinking or it's suddenly solid green. Same level of brilliant intensity. It's just a new color. It's just red. Now it's green. And it's the same level of brilliant intensity, like I said, like a halogen light in the sky above you, right? And we're looking at this, and then it's just hovering there, and it's and you can tell it's hovering because you can see slight movement like this, like almost like your eye can see this, right? Your eye, it's not like your eye can see it's moving somehow, right? It's your eyes noticing some kind of movement that's lateral, but it's just minuscule. But the light is so brilliant. And so the person standing next to me, the gentleman, the man, he says to me, I'm a professional pilot. I fly airplanes for a living. That's what I do. I've never seen anything like this in my life. He said, this is what he's saying. One guy sitting next to me, a professional pilot is saying, this is not an airplane. This is not a helicopter. There's no sound whatsoever. And it's like I said, it's about 100 feet above us. Even if it was 700 feet above us, you'd hear the helicopter. If it was any kind of authorized aircraft, it would have an indicator light that's blinking so that there's not an mid-air collision that someone thinks they're flying towards a star. And no, it's another craft and you hit. You have to have blinking lights to differentiate. It's not blinking. It's solid. And
yeah,
so
planes, all flying vehicles, earthbound vehicles, have the strobing locator lights.
Correct. And that's the way it is. Otherwise, you can make the mistake. Are you looking at a star? Are you looking at a planet? And you go towards a collision rather than avoiding it, right? So he says, and it's not a drone. And it's because, again, drones make a sound. I have people flying drones out here by the beach in Santa Monica. People flying drones all the time. You can hear them in the sky. They're up there really high. You can hear them.
Yep.
Because basic physics of rotors. They're doing this to the air. You're gonna hear it, right? There's no sound. And it's a desert, pitch silence to the point the silence is almost like a blanket, like oppressive. And when we're staring at this, and this goes on for another couple of minutes, but you're standing in awe. It's just hovering there, now green, and then after 2 minutes, it's red again. It's red, it's bright red. And then what it does is this. It starts moving across the sky in almost like a parabolic arc, like this, right? Starts moving across the sky and then rapidly starts falling down towards the earth. So, okay, it was about 100 feet above us. So when it gets down to maybe 30 feet, it just blinks out and vanishes. There's no sound of a collision, no sound of any impact on the ground. Whatever this was, if it hit, it would have had some kind of sound of an impact, right?
You would have felt it too, that close.
You would have felt it too. You were that close. You would have felt it it just goes off like a candle burning out. And we're all like, what the hell is that? And it's literally this mystical experience of feeling like you were swept away to another world. This isn't like anything. I was at that time, 47-year-old man, never experienced anything like it. And so I was like, I'm staring at it in awe. And then the bus driver, we've been out here for a couple of minutes and the bus needs to go, right? The bus said, hey, there's 3 people missing. So the bus driver comes out looking for us. And so I didn't know this much about Chile, but Chile has a very small indigenous native population. It's not like Peru, which is a very large and very ancient population. By the time the sort of Europeans arrived in Chile, most of the native tribes were no longer there. And so I'm sure there were conflicts between the remaining ones. So it really is a very tiny population that's not very prominent. But the driver was one of the native Chileans, right? And bus driver. So he said, hey, are you guys okay? We need to get back on the bus. Everything all right? What's going on? And we say to him, we just saw this thing, right? We describe it to him, and we're like, and he's like,
and he didn't see it.
No, well, he was in the bus. Nobody in the bus saw it. Just 3 of us saw it. Right? And so he was in the bus. But this is what he says. The bus driver goes, oh, he's a native. He's an indigenous Chilean. So he's like, oh, those are the UFOs. My people have been seeing them in this area for centuries. That's what he said. The bus driver says, "Oh, don't worry about it.
It's just a thing that happens here."
Yeah, it's like, I don't mind. Yeah, we've been this area, particularly this part of the desert. We've been seeing this all the time. So get back on the bus, go back to Santiago. Like, it's just like normal for you, but that's how normal it is for him, right? And so we get back on the bus, and we're like automatically telling people, "We just saw this thing," right? And most people are looking at us like we're out of our minds because they're in the bus. And they never bothered to look up in the sky. We were just the 3 of us, right? And I guess it was an experience for the 3 of us. And then I had, we still have 2 or 3 days left on this tour. We're going to see other stuff in Chile, whatever, nice astronomical places, all that fun, telescopes and things. And with us was this professor, like some college professor who was your standard academic. I know I'm better, smarter than you. And he spent the next 3 days making fun of me. Like mocking me. Like everywhere we go, we'd be walking and he'd pat me on the shoulder. Look, there's your UFO. And then we'd like an airplane going across the sky, whatever. And I was like, and this is, by the way, this is maybe a year before the 8-tip videos came out, right? But he was your snobby academic who knows everything. And literally, I even told him, I was like, look, this area has been known for UFOs. The Chilean government. He's like, what do you talk about Chilean government as an X-Files thing? So I just take out my phone and I show it to him. I call up like this article that, in the first article that came up in English about the Chilean 8-tip program was from Fox News. So he just laughed. He said, oh, look at that. He literally looked at it and said, that's from Fox News. I don't need to look at it. I was like, but he didn't even know about this program. And the first thing I showed him was Fox News. So I'm not even going to, see, you're also right-wing crazy. You're citing Fox News. I'm like, this is a well-known, publicized public program, and it's just the first article that happened to come up in English was from Fox talking about it. But that's a standard prejudice of academics. Also, because these guys are very materialist in their philosophy, and they think they're smarter than everyone else. They think they know everything, and so this kind of shakes them up. And so he had to mock me. He couldn't let it go. Others were like, "Okay, cool, you had that experience, okay," and they just let it go because no one. There were 3 of us. It wasn't like all 3 of us. Maybe all 3 of us were crazy, but people decided to just, for social purposes, to just at least respectfully play along, right? Okay? This guy wouldn't. He wouldn't let it go because it so shook him up that I was claiming I'd seen a UFO, right? It shook up his paradigm too much. But one more thing I'll say about that, then I'd love to make this more interactive than me just talking. But it's so on the next day when we're driving through, like to see some other part of Chile, we're going to they have these beautiful astronomy. They have these beautiful like telescopes, massive telescopes. They're astronomical centers because of shock, UFO area. But it's also the skies are very clear, the mountains. It's wonderful. So we're on our way to one of these sort of observatories, and we stopped on the way to at some local Chilean indigenous village that just stop there, get lunch. And they're selling trinkets. So I'm like, oh, cool. Like I said, there's not much of a Chilean indigenous population. The bus driver was like, yeah, this is, it wasn't far from where we had seen the day before the incident, right? So we're out in the desert again. And suddenly I laugh because what are the trinkets that Chilean Indians, the Chilean natives are selling? They're selling UFO trinkets in their little village. They're selling little gray men, grays, with like, wearing a Chilean hat or whatever. And it's just like little trinkets because that's, so many people are seeing them that the local indigenous people sell trinkets.
It's their culture. It is part of their culture.
Buy magnets, put on your fridge, and you're like, this is because it's so real to them, and the people buy them because I just saw a UFO. So I tell them, they're like, yeah, of course, yeah, here, buy this magnet.
Wow.
I mean, that's it. It has never left me, that experience, because I'm left wondering, did I summon it by talking about it? And what if I did, as some people claim that you can summon these things by your conscious attention on them. So how much of this phenomenon is related to consciousness linked to it? And, I am of the view that what I saw, it was what you would call UAP. I didn't see a physical form to it. I just saw this incredibly bright light, right? And that I couldn't make out any contours that would suggest it's a craft. So what was I seeing something that might have been interdimensional? I am more of the view that these things are interdimensional, or at the very least use interdimensional portals and wormholes to travel. Because a friend of mine is like very rational, is like, I'd love to believe in UFOs, but it's impossible to go fast at the speed of light. I mean, it's impossible. It's only impossible because that's our current understanding of physics. People didn't even understand that stuff until Einstein in the 20th century. You don't think in another 100 years
remember how all of the physicists were so serious about string theory, and now string theory is considered passe. The
string theory is an interesting thing. I think there's a lot of truth to it, but it's just not a provable theory. It's just such an all-encompassing paradigm that you can't test it. Whereas quantum theory you can test and has been proven to work. So at least that's. But string theory is just it's like a religion.
Now, I do want to point out that I'm a big follower of Carl Jung and his theories behind synchronicity, and that everything is connected at a microscopic and macroscopic level. And I believe that is part of what you were talking about, where just talking about something, you have to ask the question, was my talking about it what summoned it, or was my talking about it my subconscious becoming aware of it before my conscious mind did?
And it doesn't really matter because there was the great sort of, if you study the great occultists like Aleister Crowley and others in the 20th century, they would say consciousness is just one. It's just one spectrum, right? And so even from the quantum physics perspective of entanglement, we're all entangled with the cosmos. So is it my consciousness that's summoning it, or it's appearance that's triggering my consciousness? And it's both at the same time because it's entangled.
Yeah, it's sort of like when I was a little kid, because I was fascinated with it as a kid too. My dad started reading what's his name? I think he's Dutch. Eric von Daniken. Yes, thank you. Chariots of the Gods. My dad would read books to me, and he never read children's books to me. He read science, literature, history, and shit like that. Chariots.
Well, your dad's a good dad. He prepared.
My dad was amazing for this stuff. He did this interesting experiment because there was this theory that the energy created by the shape of a pyramid could sharpen the edge of a blade inside. So Dad actually built a pyramid in our living room. It was like Close Encounters with the mountain. My dad built this pyramid and put razor blade right in the center to experiment, and it didn't do anything. And he goes, bullshit. But he really was a big UFO believer, and he believed in And I think that's where I got it from, is that I don't believe humans came here accidentally. I don't believe that language, and I think our understanding of what God is something completely different than that. When people think that I'm an atheist, I'm like, I'm not an atheist. I am not. I believe there's something out there. I just
you're not necessarily presenting it in theistic language of religious language, right?
Whereas I do believe in seeding, and I do believe that the opportunity through evolution that FOXP2 protein ended up at such high levels in humans, Homo sapiens sapiens, rather than all other Homo sapiens, is really fucking weird. I mean, how could that happen? You know, that we had the same diet. How did we get all that FOXP2 protein, which is not, I believe, terrestrial? I think it's extraterrestrial in nature, FOXP2 protein. That's how we speak.
Well, it's interesting because, excuse me, cough. It's interesting because, because just using religious language. So, okay, so I come from obviously the Muslim tradition and the Islamic tradition. And the Islamic tradition has a very similar Adam and Eve story to the biblical tradition, right?
Yes.
Almost exactly parallel, some minor differences. It's Adam that tempts Eve in the Quranic version rather than the Eve tempting Adam. Whatever. Those are distinctions, but they're the same family of stories with the same names, right? So you got this concept of a garden and Adam and Eve arising from it, and so that's how the vast majority of Muslims interpret that story. And interestingly enough, and this I think will shock a lot of Christians today, most Muslims still take that story quite literally. They will say there was a historical Adam and there was a historical event of this garden from which human beings were expelled into. Many Christians today, and certainly many Jews, would say that's all symbolical, poetical language about the development of the human race. Whatever, doesn't matter. But what's interesting is my Sufi masters, my spiritual teachers, the Sufis are the mystics of Islam, and they often like to go beneath the apparent structures of religion, beneath the apparent appearances of the stories and scriptures. And so their Sufis are talking about how a very common story amongst the Sufi masters is that the Adam and Eve story is actually a story, is very specific. The sort of the hidden secret of Sufi truth is that the events did happen historically, but they didn't happen in this world, because also the Bible and the Quran do not claim that Eden is this world, right? But it's the idea is this, more specifically, the Sufis, especially the Persian, the Iranian Sufis, have a long-standing tradition claiming that Eden, the garden, was actually on a planet in the star system of Sirius, which others like the Dogon tribes of Africa have claimed that we originated from Sirius, right? Mm-hmm. So what's also interesting is Sirius is the only star named by name in the Quran. It's called Ashera, right? And there's a chapter, surah of the Quran, titled Ashera because the Quran references it, because the pagan Arabs worship that star. It's the brightest fixed star in the sky from our perspective. And the Quran says God is the Lord of Syria. So don't worship the star. God is its creator. But it's also very interesting of all the stars, and most of the fascinating
that was picked, right?
That was picked, and history is what people don't realize is the names we have for stars today are primarily Arabic, like Betelgeuse and all these names. They're all that because by the Middle Ages, all that knowledge, that Greek knowledge, had been lost in Europe, and so by the time Muslim astronomers and Muslim navigators were encountering the West, and they were giving them the names of the stars that were in Arabic. So to this day, most of the stars that we catalog are actually using the Arabic name. But with that in mind, the very fact that with all those stars being part of Arabic culture, right? Ashera, the Sirius, is the only one the Quran mentions, right? And so the claim is that we actually originated, the Sufis claim that we originated, Adam was created on a planet in Sirius, and when he fell, he was brought to Earth. So there very much is this idea, which fits into this Abrahamic idea that human beings aren't from this reality, that we were created in another reality, Eden, and brought to this world, a world of suffering and toil and all these limitations and things. But we are not native to this world. You don't have to go to Danic or ancient aliens. That's there in the spiritual texts of these traditions.
That's fascinating. Yeah. I could go on talking to you about this all day. But I know you've got a tight schedule, and I really wanted to just sort of I wanted to get your story, get your pulse on this. Yeah. And I want to thank you for jumping on the show with me today. I so deeply appreciate it, Cameron. I would really like to talk with you one-on-one again about some of this stuff, because there are other things I like to go over, but I like to save that for another day, because you're fascinating, dude. You really are.
Well, I'm delighted God brought us together. I enjoy everything you do on Pop Culture Minefield, and I'm doing this stuff here. I'm happy, and these things are very important to me. I love talking about them. a lot more interesting than arguing about about Star Wars. That's kind of
all of that stuff is kind of fun. But to be honest, this is where I am as a person. I'm fascinated with alien technology and how aliens may have interacted with us, and that even some of our belief system may be based on the interpretation of seeing something from another world.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just not knowing what to call it.
Yeah, and or just using a different language. Like I said, the reason that I tend to view these UFO, UAP phenomena as interdimensional is because I already have a language for that. Because I've got the Islamic concept of jinn, right, which are these beings that are amongst you that you cannot see, but they can see you. They live in a shadow dimension. That's part of the religion. That's part of the culture. And so, I asked my Sufi master what happened after this incident I described in the Chilean desert, and he said to me something which is very interesting, which I'd never heard before. He said during eclipses, particularly solar eclipses, dimensional doorways open to other worlds. And so what you likely saw there was something that was crossing between dimensions. That's coming from my Sufi master in West Africa, in a little village in West Africa. But he said to me that the eclipse was the triggering event. There's an energy shift during eclipse, which I guess opens magnetic portals.
There has to be something going on that we are in this perfect cradle with Earth, where the moon and the sun are exactly the right distances from our planet, that when they cross paths, they're exactly the same size.
Yeah, there's no other planet. People don't understand. There's not a single planet in the solar system that has that possibility of alignment.
Only Earth.
Only Earth and Moon. And there's an incredible book called Who Built the Moon, written by scientists, saying that, look, based on all this stuff here, the moon feels like an artificial satellite because it's impossible for it to be so perfectly aligned. That's just one of the many things that fit with the moon. That it's just like, this isn't like, Phobos around Mars, right? This is something else going on here. This doesn't feel like, and again, part of that is the uniqueness of Earth, and whether it's manufactured because aliens put that satellite there or because God put it there as part of the uniqueness of the creation, it doesn't matter. What's happening here is not normal. It's scientifically improbable to the point of impossibility, the exact placement of the Earth, Sun, and Moon to create the eclipse. I don't think anyone.
Yeah, man. I'm in complete agreement with you. And you bring up Phobos because Phobos is actually going to be the subject next week, because I got Don Ecker coming on again. We're going to be talking about the Disney conspiracy, because some shit went down with Disney. You're welcome to join us if you want to jump on with Don.
Well, if you want to do it at 8 a.m. in the morning, brother, I can't
that's
do
the problem. It's too early for you. But I would love to have you on with Don. But he's going to be talking about, because he got a Oscar, the mouse Oscar from Disney. But the day that he got it, everything that happened was really fucking weird. And it had to do with ufology and this project they were doing with Disney, and it wasn't publicized and nobody came. And then secretly he gets called out into a hallway and given this Oscar by what's his name? The guy back in the 90s, Eisner. Thank you. Eisner hands it to him. It's a real weird story. We're going to be going over that. And Phobos 2, Phobos 1 and 2, the Russian probes that mysteriously either malfunctioned or one was.
Yeah, when the rocket came up from the surface. Yeah,
he claims that something hit it, struck it.
Yeah, that's what I think happened.
Yeah,
it's there is, with regard to Disney, and this will hopefully be a point of a whole other conversation someday. The secret, if the Sufis are talking about the hidden history of the cosmos, right? You better believe all these other secret societies are talking about it, right? And people like Walt Disney was heavily involved in secret societies. There's all kinds of secret society stuff shown in the early movies, right? That's subliminal imagery. So if you don't think at the highest levels of Hollywood, of course, I'm not talking. There's all kinds of occult and secret society stuff. These aren't just people making movies. There's other stuff.
Things, the gestures. Yeah.
So they know. I mean, they know stuff, and so. There's, and a lot of this is linked to the hidden history of our solar system and what's happening on Mars, what's happening on the moon, and stuff like that. They know things that we don't know, and they don't want us to know because they don't think we can handle more than the government thinks we can't handle it. They don't want us to know for various occult reasons. Got to keep the lid on it for preserving energy and secrecy, right? But that makes sense to me that he was given that award, and it was this weird, shady thing. It's because it's part of the secret space program. He doesn't even know what he's involved in.
Yeah,
he doesn't even know what's involved in. It's too much. It's too much for people.
He's gonna watch this interview, by the way, on Wednesday. So I'm curious to get his input on what you're saying here. But before you go,
yes, sir.
I got to show you this and get your reaction to it. This is one of my. I like to take this photo of Neil deGrasse Tyson, and put my fake quotes on it that he said that he never said.
Okay, that's right.
Read that.
I like to sleep the same way. I like to go to the bathroom at home and in my own bed. Isn't that like Amber Heard? Well, Mr. Tyson has done a great deal of work for popularizing science.
Yes, he's a great mouthpiece for physics. He really is. And science
but
in general.
he's also a great mouthpiece for the official understanding of the world. And
he breaks it down very simple.
Yes.
And that's what he's good for, because when people try to bring him up for when we're talking physics, I'm like, he's not somebody I would quote.
He's also not somebody who in any way will explore the deeper questions like many other scientists are asking about, well, what is reality? He's perfectly fine with regurgitating the official narrative.
Yeah, because as you know, there's a war between physicists and natural sciences, because physicists believe there's a greater power that exists in the universe. They don't know what to label it, but they said these things that happen can't be replicated, and it's never replicated because we believe something made it happen. Yeah, including the Big Bang. It's like, why hasn't it repeated itself? Because it doesn't. It was meant to happen. And
yeah, exactly.
And Einstein even talked about that.
Yeah, but again, this is the hubris of human beings. The last 2 years have shown the hubris of human beings, thinking that they not only understand the natural world, that they can control the natural world. It's just hubris.
Oh yeah.
And it will remind us again and again, no matter what you do, I'm bigger than you.
That's right. Well, on that, I'm going to go ahead and end this interview. Thank you, Cameron, for coming on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, Cameron Pascha, a good friend to this channel, and Keith and I both love you, man.
God bless, man.
God bless you too. And well, there you go, guys. That was a fun interview. And Martin, I got to deal with this here. I'm going to share screen real quick. It really did kind of feel like this.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yep.
That was so much fun sitting hanging with him and doing that interview. Cameron is a fascinating dude. And there was a question somebody asked that, oh, shit. I told him to remind me. Where was it? Let me scroll up. This one right here I do want to address real quick is that is part of what we're talking about, because the odds of that happening naturally is literally astronomical.
So
it's just
can I say something to that?
Yeah.
You guys even touched on it, the whole synchronicity thing. If you look at the universe is like it's like an old timey wind up watch. You know what I mean? And if you look at like the way, that's why astrology is a thing. If you look at how the stars over time, move, the constellations move, the North Stars change, and then once every, like, I can't remember exactly what it is, like every 20,000 years or something like that, all the planets align, with the sun. It's like, so there is something. I'm not saying there's a God or something. But there is something at work there, because there are too many things that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is some like really heady, far out man conversation.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that one comment. I'm going, and I just saw somebody's comment that just said that you look like Kevin Conroy, Chris, from that did the voice of Batman on the animated series. Yeah, and I call bullshit on the hollow moon theory too. Let's see, gosh, where was that comment? We are all aliens. I don't believe we're aliens, but I believe we're seated here.
100%.
I am absolutely an ancient alien theorist, because it is just too fucking weird that we had the exact same diet as all the other primates, and yet we ended up with almost all of the FOXP2 protein in our bodies that allowed us to develop speech. And the other primates still are capable of communication. And we find this interesting because, thanks to Lucy way back in, I think her name was Lucy, the first ape they did sign language with, and they can actually communicate ideas. And what's amazing is the discovery that she was capable of, what's it called? Not just basic thought, but capable of understanding complicated ideas. And that was mind-blowing to me, that other primates can understand that shit.
I think they said, don't primates have the mind of like a 4-year-old? They can do sign language, communicate.
Some are even more mature than that, because we know a lot of dogs are at about a 2 to 4 year old level. But I just find Cameron just to be such a fascinating dude. I really love talking to that guy, and now even more because I enjoyed interviewing him to begin with. Then all of a sudden we start talking because I believe in the paranormal, and I wanted to crack the joke. I forgot to tell the joke while he was here, and I'm going to tell it to him the next time. I came up with this joke one day when someone says that they're not sure if all hauntings are intelligent hauntings, and I said if hauntings are real, they have to be all intelligent. And they said, why is that? I said, you've never heard of a haunted mobile home.
Well, I know. I watch a lot of paranormal on YouTube.
That was a joke.
I think it's called the... Oh, what are the name of those? Someone in the chat might be able to tell me. It's 4 kids that go out and they do paranormal hunting. Younger generation. I can't think of their names.
I don't know.
But they actually ghost hunted an ambulance and got a lot of weird EVPs.
Oh, okay. Hey,
Twin Paranormal. Yeah.
Hold on. Dork, you got to go, man?
Yeah, it's the kids go back to school Wednesday. Next week we got the tour and then of the school.
You're going with your boy Dorian?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I see that Martin says white dad stuff. Hashtag white.
Yeah, I laughed at that. Yeah.
All right, man, get going, man. Thanks for God. You're a real helper today, man. I deeply
no worries,
appreciate
man.
It, man.
I'll
Will
hit
you be here tomorrow for
home.
True Crime, right? With Tom?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, well, Tom will be here at my place again, and this time he's bringing his computer so I can show him how to do it, so he doesn't have to keep coming over. But I'll hit you up when I get back because I know that you and I needed to talk some more still. Anyway.
Yeah, we got to talk some Josh Becker stuff too.
Yeah.
In fact, I sent him a mail because I sent him a question, and I get worried sometimes that my emails aren't getting to him because he has not responded to that email. He's still doing his Ask Crack of Dawn. Well, he changed the name of it. Did you suggest that?
No.
It no longer says Ask Crack of Dawn. It now just says the Crack of Dawn.
Oh, yeah, no.
Don was here. I told you he would watch, and I'm so glad you saw that because I'm going to talk to you about it tomorrow. Your thoughts on what he said. I want to get you two together, man. Which means I need to get you and him, and we're going to have to record you with him, and then have you on the show again also. But hey, Danny, get the fuck out of here.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu salam.
Thank
you.
The
response. It's like in Vulcan. It's like live long and prosper, and the person responds, peace and long life.
All right. Later, all.
Later, brother. I'll see you later. Thanks, man. So that is so awesome. Don is in the chat, man. I'm so glad you watched that. Man, that is the guy I was telling you about, Don. I really want to get the two of you together on an interview. I think it'd be so fun. I guess we've been going for an hour and 18 minutes. The interview is 40 minutes. And we can talk a little more. I think I'll go for all the way to an hour and a half today. I'm taking it easy, man. That spider fucking kicked my ass. It was only like that big, but it fucking... And I did find it. It was in the rug. there's like a shag, not like crazy 70s shag, but it's a rug with a little bit of shag to it, and it disappeared into the fabric. Because the problem is, if you have tans and browns in your fucking carpet, you're gonna be lucky if you see the recluse, because they blend so well into those colors. And I finally found it. I went looking around the bed because I knew it had to have fallen out of the bed. And I think, I don't remember who I said it to last night. I said, yeah, it died right after biting me. I like to think that I killed it with my blood. that fucker died from biting me. That'll teach you, bitch. Not for me rolling over on it or anything, which is probably why it bit me. I probably rolled on it. History Channel. Yeah, there. This has been an interesting interview with Cameron. I knew a little bit about what Muslims believe, but the way and I would like to have him go into even more detail, because if you ever saw that movie with Demi Moore and Jürgen Prochnow, where he plays Jesus Returned to Earth, I cannot remember what that was, but it was like The Seal or something like that. But anyway, the seals had to be broken for this, and they brought up something called the Guff, which is like a well of souls, and there's only so many souls to ever be created, and the well had run out, and through whatever happens in the movie, I forget, it refills the well. Spider AIDS. Spider AIDS is something that, because a lot of people don't know this. If you get bit by a spider, you can get sick as fuck, even if it's not toxic. I love that your fingers are right in the camera there, Chris.
Oh.
You're like right up in the camera, like fucking spider legs.
I'm trying to. It's gonna get you.
It's you, gonna get you, little one. Yeah. The Seventh Seal. That was it, Lindsay. Good morning, Lindsay. Good to see you. I hope you enjoyed the interview. But I have to say that that was interesting. And I was told that the Guff that they refer to, the Well of Souls, is from the Quran. So I've always wanted to ask him about that and that film. So, God, go through there so quickly. I was trying to look back at what Lindsay said. There it is. Oh, I lost it. I've lost it. I don't know where Lindsay's comment is. There it is. I found it. Thank you. And that was it. That was all she said. Okay. Yeah, the Seventh Seal, Marshall. They bring up again. They called it the Guff, and in the film they associate with Islamic beliefs that it came from the Quran. This well of souls, and that once it runs out, that's the end. But for some reason, when the young man with Down syndrome execution scene, all of that, what ends up happening at the end apparently refills the soul so the world doesn't end. See you later, Gap. Thanks for coming by, man. So, and it's an odd film. I've only seen it once. You know, it's one of those films I didn't feel the need to ever watch again. I don't own it, but it's a really interesting film. I liked it. They had great acting in it. Not like the most amazing film I ever saw, but it's a very interesting film. So, Michael Beacon, how long have you been ghost hunting? Actually, ghost hunting is something I also want to talk to him about, because I'm fascinated by that too. I've actually gone on. In fact, Stephanie Beatty, who is the Facebook user you see in the chat, she does that. She's a ghost hunter, and they do real ghost hunting. They go, one of their favorite places to go and to give tours is the Pythian Castle in Springfield, Missouri, which is supposed to have a lot of paranormal activity in it. But I've gone, I've actually been impacted by poltergeist activity. Scared the shit out of me when I was a kid, when it happened. And I remember my sister and I were playing Mousetrap in the living room, and she and I were the only people home. Nobody else was home. And we're sitting there playing this game in the middle of the floor of the living room, and there's a fireplace on one side and just the wall with the front windows on the other side. The fireplace was not on the exterior wall, it was in the middle wall, surrounded by fire brick, and allowed heat to radiate throughout the house. And very interesting design for this farmhouse. And so we're sitting there playing this game on the floor, and all of a sudden a photo that was on the fireplace flew over our heads against the wall, the front wall of the house. And we just got the fuck up and left. We went outside and like, fuck this shit. And I had other weird shit happen there from, you know, what is it? I've never seen book stackings like that in Ghostbusters. I had something similar to that. I went outside to talk to my mom. She and I were the only ones home that day. She was out hanging laundry. And when I went back in the house, I had all these toy soldiers that had been on the floor. And when I came back in the house, they were all stacked in a row on top of the toy box. And I scooped them up, put them in the toy box, and never played with those toys in that toy box ever again. I didn't know what that was about. I was a fucking scared kid. I did not like weird shit. I'm like, nope. Like that movie. Nope. Not going to deal with it. Well, you have a good day, Olaf. Thanks for showing up. Our numbers are dwindling from in the 30s down to 16. I'm assuming that means it's the end of the show when people start going. But I want to thank everybody for being here. And I think I actually made the list today for us. Martin, thanks to you getting it started. I want to thank Arasaka the Dapper Goose, Das Wolfen, to touch a monkey, D. Bud Martin, The Marshal, Monkey Jeebus, Anima Confusa, Wajid Liki Asharafi. I'm not going to try to pronounce that last name that's hyphenated, Wajid. I'll butcher it, and I don't want to do that to you. Penny J was here. That is Dork Knight's Bomb. Darius Munchausen, Olaf Van S. Tuck for showing up. Thank you. Dr. Dragon, Socks Bulletins, Tin Man, The Lovely Sherry, Stephanie Beatty, Mad Mardigan. And Mad Mardigan, thanks again for that $10 super chat. 6, Gap After Dark, War Monkey, one of my two favorite monkeys, and Christian Delorme, Real Wade Nation, the Comic Relief Crusader, Bill Barkley, the Peter Venkman fan site, who is watching us, really just listening to us, Michael Beacom, Lindsay the Cynical Geek, and again, both of my favorite monkeys were here today, which makes me happy.
We have a super chat, boss.
Thank you. See, $5 or £5 sterling. No, look at you. Hello, I'm quite rich, you bastards. Right? I want to thank you, Wajid. Is it Rizvi? Is that how you pronounce it? I really hate butchering people's names. Thank you for the super chat, and thank you for the compliment. We try to do a good show every day. You know, I find that whatever entertains me usually entertains other people. So I'm going to play you a little video. Let's see. What shall I play you? Oh, this is my favorite one to play when somebody is giving us some money for the show. Charitable, kind hearts. I play this scene from Chili Palmer's or Get Shorty, where he's explaining something to Danny DeVito, because I think it's hilarious.
You're squinting like you need glasses. Well, what do you, look at me. What? What I'm thinking is, you're mine. I fucking own you. But what I'm not doing is feeling one way or another about it. You see, you're not a person to me. You're an entry in my book. That's all. You're just a guy who owes me money.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
And there you go. 2 videos for you, my friend. Oh, wait. And this one is for Das Wolfen and Darius Munchausen.
Before we begin, would you like to touch my monkey?
Michael Bacon, $2 super chat. Pop Culture Minefield, great podcaster. I am very grateful, sir, and I'm glad you enjoyed the show. Wednesdays is UFO Wednesday. I am going to be trying to have guests on, and Don Ecker is a friend of mine, and I love getting him on. He'll be here next week. We're going to be talking about the incident at Disney when he was there, and he got his Moscar, which is a mouse Oscar. It's their version of their Oscar for people who do things. And he did a UFO, I don't know if we call it symposium production thing, but it was really weird, and you got to hear him talk about it. And we're also going to talk about Phobos 1 and Phobos 2, which were probes that were there sent by Russia, launched and sent by Russia to study Phobos, the moon around Mars. And the first one fucking just completely crashed. I mean, stopped working. And then they sent another one up. And this one, it is believed, was shot down by something. And it's really fucking crazy. And it was really one of the first times I started looking at alien life as potentially dangerous to us. Not this benign thing that, Close Encounters makes it look like, but something else, and so next week's going to be fun, guys. And Michael, for you, I'm going to play this, one of my favorite moments in the movie, The Thing.
You believe any of this voodoo bullshit, Blair? Charles, chariots of the gods, man. They practically own South America. I mean, they taught the Incas everything they know.
Boom, baby. Thank you, Michael, for your $2. Every little bit helps us, man. It really does. Make sure I didn't forget anybody. Did I forget anybody? Well, I'm going to go back just to make sure. Yes, Michael Beacom, and Lindsay, the Cynical Geek, were the last two to join us. So I wanted to make sure to thank you guys for showing up. Your support means a lot to me. And I got to tell you, the only reason I do this show is because you guys. I enjoy interacting with you. I enjoy talking. And I look at this as almost like a TV version of a radio show where I'm talking to my audience directly. And I want to thank you guys for supporting the show and this channel. And just to let you know, I already drank all my coffee during the interview. So I wasn't talking, so I drank and drank and drank. So I'm now drinking Mountain Dew. If you don't believe me, boom. This show brought to you by caffeine. Lots of it. And I'm going to be inviting Anima Confusa to the channel. She didn't have anything to say on this show. She didn't join us, but she'll be joining me in the private chat after the show. Darius, I can't chat much in the middle of the day, but I appreciate you doing these shows. Darius, of course, man. And you are, I really want to get you on the show. Just you and me. I don't know how to do it if it's during your work day, but would you talk to me in private chat on the Pop Call account? Because I'd really like to just have you on some morning just to be part of the crowd. Because, we've been interacting for a while, and I don't feel like you and I've ever had a chance to really talk. I mean, you'll pop on with 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser, which I missed the show last night. Spider Bite knocked me out. I slept through the fucking show. And I was so pissed because it was Naked Gun night. And that's like one of my favorite films to talk about. Oh, that's okay. I get it. I'm glad. Look, you're still freaking here. You're still here watching or listening to the show, and it means a lot to me, and I'm grateful. So thanks a lot, guys. The Marshal. Fucking macking on Anima Confusa. She's
nice
so
believer.
She's, oh my God, yeah, that was the one I brought up, and because they asked me, do you think it's toxic? I said, you've got a line in that film called "Nice Beaver." Thanks, I just had it stuffed. That's the fucking line from the movie. You don't get more toxic than that. That's fucking awesome. Yeah. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. I want to thank Danny for being here, Martin Acosta Santana for being the manager of the chat. I appreciate him so fucking much. He really, God, I'm so stressed out right now over this internet issue. And I want to thank my buddy Chris for being here. And man, it means a lot to me to have you guys. And I'm grateful that you're back in my life again, Chris. Missed you for all that time. But let's see. I think I got everybody, Martin. Let me look through your list. Yep. Now, I don't call him Mad Chismo. I call him Mad Mardigan. He just changes it every once in a while for fun. And people know him as Mad Mardigan. So, but I will play us out with something. What shall I play us out with today? Should I do the outro credits or should I do another video?
Hey, Gary, dumb question. This is kind of dumb here. I'm definitely a supporter of the show.
The Marshal can't go to the after show party, bouncer.
Yeah, oh, never mind. This thing's acting up. Stupid.
She is so awesome. Anima Confusa is awesome. Let me play. I got to play one more video before I go. I like playing my videos. Oh, here we go. Oh, my God. I need to get that Chris Walken one. Oh, my God. I got to get the Chris Walken communion scene. I'll add that to my list. But I will play this one right here.
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
There you go. Got to end on Chris Walken, man. Thank you guys. Deeply appreciate everybody. See you tomorrow. It'll be True Crime Thursday tomorrow. We will once again have the amazing Tom Connell on. He will be talking about a massive true crime that he was part of the investigation on and prosecution. And it was a kidnapping of a daughter of a major casino owner. And it's a fascinating story, I'm telling you. So I'll see you guys to racism. You know, God damn it. I get it. When you say racist, I got to do that scene from Monty Python where after the guy, Mr. Creosote, throws up and they're cleaning up, it's the after scene. They're cleaning up all the vomit, and they got this old woman played by Terry Jones, and he's like, I cannot, Junkley's like, I cannot believe, all these things that's happened. He's playing infringement. And he says, how do you do it? How do you keep such a proactive process? And she says, well, what they do, the high pitch thing. And she goes through this whole litany. And then at the end of it, she goes, but through it all, I'm just thankful I don't work for Jews. And he goes, and kicks her off camera and goes, and looks at the camera and goes, I'm so sorry. I had no idea we had hired a racist.
A racist.
A racist. One of the funniest fucking moments in film. Anyway, guys, I'm going to play us out. Everybody have a good day today. See you tomorrow morning. I will be talking to Stephen about doing a show tonight. I'm not sure if I'm up to it yet because God, this spider bite kicked my ass. But if I am, we will announce it on Twitter. So keep an eye out. And with that, everybody have a blessed day. No matter how, even if you don't believe in God, I'm giving you my personal blessings. So don't make it a thing.
Y'all come back.